This is what you might have missed on BCSN Sports Nightly.
It is Thursday, and it is time to get serious. We go in the paint. Deon Thompson, he joins us. I gave him an extra year eligibility last night. I hate it when it takes 24 hours for me to correct something. I met your son, Jamie, part of the Indiana recruiting class for football. You got to be very proud.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right.
Sure.
You can still play, too. And Andre Savage, the only one of us up here with paper actually taking notes. That's how studious he is. Okay. All right, let's get to it right now. A lot of stuff to talk about. First and foremost, number one, Deon, you were on the call for this one. Scott and Rogers. Rogers' first City League loss of the year. Are they still the number one seed when we start the Final Four?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're the number one seed, but I do think Scott will challenge them because there's a potential meeting with them in the city championship, as we all know. I thought, even though Scott, they seem like they won handily, you have to remember, Rogers missed 11 free throws in a row. And I think if they hit some of those free throws, and Copeland he didn't have a good game that night, which is uncharacteristic for him. But I still think Rogers may be the team to beat, but I think Scott has some confidence now.
Cam had 40 in that first matchup between them, too.
Right.
Dre, your thoughts on Rogers being the number one seed despite this loss?
I don't know. I think that's probably true in all likelihood. I think that the loss resets them, recalibrates these guys, and re-energizes them. And I would go so far as to say they need it, because that was still a ridiculous display on a lot of levels, namely because not just that Cam Copeland had a bad game. I understand that, and that can happen often, but Christian Smith is the guy I want to point at. And here's my problem, is because the game prior to that, he had a lot of success, a 20-plus point game against Bowser.
Yep.
But there was no Delonte Brown. This team needs him to play like a big person.
And you're saying it might have been a good loss, even though no loss is a good loss to kind of wake them up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. They were cruising a little bit. They needed that.
All right, let's go. Point number two, Northern Lakes League. Deon, we've talked about this on Overtime Edition for weeks now. It is wide open. You've got Napoleon and Northview, 3 loss teams in the top spot, along with another 3-loss team, and then 6 of the 8 teams have a chance to win the league. Is this good? Is this bad? What is this?
For us, the talking heads,
Yeah.
I think it's great because it gives us something to talk about every week. But I think, honestly, I think the league is pretty average. I think if we're looking at the 3 leagues, City League, track, and NLL, I think the NLL is probably a tier, 2 tiers below those leagues. But I think it's a good thing because it's excitement every single week.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, it's great for us, probably awful for the coaches. But I like Northview. I think they can do it. I think Napoleon's tough, but I get a good feeling about Northview.
Right.
Well, obviously, a long way to deciding that, will be told here this weekend. And I just think it gives you more cause for a tournament need. And that's just my issue with the NLL, with the track. I have an issue with that. I don't understand why we play all this, we put all this time and effort in it, and we don't really have a decisive conclusion. We've seen it with the college football thing. It's a lot like that, but I'm not sure what that is about. But this tells us that we need that.
Point number 3, our final one before we get out of here. Xavier Simpson, a Lima senior, we know he's one of the best around. 65 points against Fremont Ross earlier this week. Ross only had 54. They go over 100 total. At some point, does Quincy Simpson pull Xavier and say, let's back off a little bit? A little excessive?
Well, here's the thing. It's Fremont Ross, and they're down this year. So I think, getting 65 again, and what they scored 54 the whole game.
Right.
I think that's a bit much, and I say this because I think Simpson could do that against probably St. John's. I think it would be a little more appealing, and probably self-fulfilling for him if he did it against a better quality of competition.
You mentioned St. John's. I don't think you'll do that on St. John's. I don't care what his ability is. I have every confidence in the world. I will not see that type of performance, and I would go even further to say this. When they exit the tournament, I'm thinking it's our boys that'll do it. They play a third time, Ed Heinzel will have none of this humdrum, scully-glum, or whatever's been going on.
Hey.
It's not going to happen. That's where I see the cutoff there, and I'm saying that's early. Nobody would say that, guys. I know that, but that's just my thought.
Squiglum has 2 Qs, just in case you're wondering.
That's right, thank you. Yeah.
Andre Savage, Deon Thompson. Oh, it's been fun. It's been another edition of In the Paint.
Be sure to watch Sports Nightly weeknights at 10:30 on BCSN and follow us on Twitter at sports_nightly.